Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. In this week's show, we'll take a look at the Earth Day events you might have missed, and we'll let you know how to get involved in the budget process. Making headlines this week, the entire state of Maryland mourned the loss of former Governor William Donald Shaefer. He will be remembered as the man who brought us Camden Yards and the Inner Harbor, and the guy who had a knack for keeping government employees on their toes. Shaefer died at age 89. He served 2 terms as governor, nearly 2 decades as mayor of Baltimore, and capped off his 50 years in office as comptroller of Maryland. The remembrance ceremonies were held in Baltimore and Annapolis. The former governor laid in state in both cities, and his hearse brought Shaefer on a tour of his life one final time, including a stop at his boyhood home. County Executive Leopold said of Shaefer, "William Donald Shaefer shared my dedication to constituent service and was a great partner in that regard. We owe him a great deal for his decades of public service." Now, Erik, I know what you're going to ask. No, I'm not related to the former governor. Our names are spelled a little bit differently.
2 F's.
2 F's in my Shaefer anyway. His was E.F. But he was a really important historical figure in Maryland.
Absolutely, and around the nation.
Yes.
And he'll certainly be missed. He was a legend in the state of Maryland. Another fun fact is he lived in Pasadena in Chestnut Hill Cove for many years. He really was a character. I remember him wearing the old-style bathing suit with his rubber ducky to promote the aquarium when it opened. I don't know if any elected officials will ever do anything like that again. Well, last week we featured a lot of Earth Day celebrations. County Executive Leopold was on hand for one event that benefited the environment and also charities. The Glen Burnie Convenience Center had a truck from Goodwill stationed on site so that residents could consider donating instead of discarding. It's kind of like the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. This program, which will also feature AmVets on future dates, diverts items such as clothing, toys, and furniture away from the landfill for refuge to save space that is limited in our landfill and things that we want to recycle. Everything we can to avoid expanding our landfill later. County Executive Leopold said about the event, "Saving space in our landfill is just like saving money. Every little bit counts."
In this week's Hot Topics, Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department is here to talk about 2 incidents, one in Pasadena and one in Crownsville. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. The first incident occurred this week in the early morning hours of Monday, April 18, 2011. Around 2:25 a.m., Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported dwelling fire in the 1000 block of Doxer Street in the Crownsville area of the county. First unit to arrive on the scene reported smoke coming from the rear of a 1-story, single-family type dwelling. At that time, an interior fire attack was initiated. In all, it took 24 firefighters about 15 minutes to bring the 1-alarm incident under control. There was no one home at the time of the fire and no firefighter injuries. Firefighters were able to recover some of the cats who resided in the dwelling and did administer oxygen to some of the cats at the scene. A private animal rescue group did come to the scene the next morning and utilized search dogs to help recover the other 2 missing cats who were not injured. The fire, which originated in the kitchen area of the home, caused an estimated $35,000 in damages. The cause of the fire was determined to be electrical in nature. In a second incident this week, county firefighters responded to another house fire in the Pasadena area on Monday, April 25th. This incident occurred in the 7700 block of East Shore Drive in the community of Greenhaven just before 4 p.m. The first arriving firefighters reported fire coming from the second-floor window of a 2-story single-family dwelling. Crews operating on the scene quickly stretched hoses to the second floor of the dwelling and were able to contain the fire to the second floor of the home. In all, it took 25 firefighters about 20 minutes to bring this incident under control. There were no civilian or firefighter injuries as a result. The fire, which originated on the interior of the dwelling, caused an estimated $30,000 in damages. The exact cause of the fire remains under investigation. The Red Cross did respond and was providing assistance to the owner. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. County fire officials would like to acknowledge the private support that they received that helped to allow the delivery of oxygen to the pet cats involved in the Crownsville fire incident. Over the past 3 years, agencies such as Canine Fitness Center in Crownsville, the Invisible Fence Company in Edgewater, and numerous other private residents have donated pet oxygen masks to the fire department, which has enabled them to equip all fire engines in the county with these life-saving resources for pets.
Well, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around Anne Arundel County. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Passing gas can be deadly.
Whoa, oh, something's funky.
Passing gas releases a plume of toxic vapors.
Oh, honey, not in the car.
Like ammonia and hydrogen cyanide.
Oh.
And lethal poisons that can linger even when windows are open. Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
Welcome back. In this week's Community Spotlight, Mark Chang is talking with some folks from the North County Chamber of Commerce about their upcoming Chamber Day. Mark.
Thank you. I'm here over at the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce Chamber Office, which is located in downtown Glen Burnie on Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard. And today, I'm here with Ms. Fran Schmidt, who is the CEO of the Chamber, and also Ms. Diane Montier, who is the committee chairperson for the upcoming Chamber Day event. And also she is the vice president of the Chamber Board, and she also is the manager of the Brewster's Ice Cream on Glen Burnie and Aquahart Road. First of all, I'd like to start off with Fran here. Fran, could you tell us about the Chamber of Commerce? What do you all do for us up here?
The Chamber of Commerce is a business organization. Our goal is to help you market your business in Northern Anne Arundel County. And to do that, we handled a lot of networking events. We promote legislative advocacy, education. There's a lot of different programs that the Chamber puts on for their members.
And I really appreciate all that you all do. Every time you do a ribbon cutting, I know it gets a lot of great exposure. You just recently moved into this office. Tell us about this.
We did. We are so happy. We're in our new chamber building located at 7439 Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard. We're across the street from Holy Trinity Church, so that's a landmark that a lot of people know. But we are one of the few chambers in Maryland and in the United States to actually own their own building. So this is fabulous for us. We're right now in our large conference room. We have several offices, and we definitely have room to service our members.
Great. In addition to the ribbon cuttings that I have the privilege to go into, what else do you all do for your members out here?
Well, you've mentioned ribbon cuttings, and I just want people to know that's for new businesses that come into this area. And we're very fortunate that we have the local politicians and community leaders that come out and they welcome new businesses. And we actually do a formal ribbon cutting. But as I said, we put on a lot of different networking events. We put on business resource seminars. We work with Anne Arundel Economic Development Corporation. We work with Workforce Development. We work with a lot of county agencies to get the best services for our business members.
That's great. And in addition to all that you all do out here, for those out there who are not yet members, how can they become members?
They just need to contact the Chamber of Commerce. And the best thing is to go on our website, www.naccc, as we tell people, 1 N, 2 A's, 3 C's.com.
Okay, great. And tell us a little bit about the staff here.
We're very fortunate. We've got some wonderful people working here at the staff. In addition to myself, the CEO, we have a membership director, Carol Boyer, who is here to answer any questions and to help recruit new members. We have 2 office staff, Carol and Angela, keep our staff running. We're very fortunate. We started out with a student intern doing our website. He's now finishing up college, and we're very fortunate that Scott is still with us. So we have a large staff and growing, and we're here to help everyone.
Great. I know that this organization you all are a strong advocate for the businesses up here in this northern part of the county and also the rest of the county. How big is your constituency?
We have about 460 members at this time, and that's businesses of different sizes, and they go everywhere from a small individual business up to the large Northrop Grumman's and Constellation Energy, the very large size businesses.
Fran, I just want to thank you for all that you do for our community up here. I know that you're a strong advocate for the business community, also just for the community in general, all the community service projects that you all do out here. And I'd like to jump over to Diane here. And Diane, I understand that there's a upcoming Chamber Day event coming up, and could you tell us all about it?
Sure. It's one of our signature events. We hold it every year, sometime during May. This year we're trying something new where our focus is Let's Get Moving, Body, Soul, and Mind, and it's going to be held at the Arundel Christian Church, which is 710 Aquahart Road, across from Brewster's, if you're looking for a landmark. The event's going to be on May 7th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we'll kick off the day with a 5K race and a 1-mile fun walk, so bring the family out and have lots of fun.
Great. And for folks who want to get involved or be part of that Chamber Day event, is it too late, and can people get involved still?
Absolutely. You can even sign up on race day to come and run or walk, or just bring the family if you don't want to hit the trail that morning. We'll have lots of vendors there, food vendors. Squisitos is going to be there. The Doughy Dog, which is part of Arundel House of Hope, is going to be there. The church youth group is going to be selling hamburgers and pulled pork sandwiches to raise some funds for their mission trip. We're going to have lots of kids' activities, a moon bounce, a clown. We're having a face painter. So lots of fun things for the kids to do also.
That's great. I really appreciate all that you do in this community too. Now let me ask you this: if you know, if the weather gets kind of tricky during this time of season, if it rains, are there any plans?
It's rain or shine. All of our businesses will bring like pop-up tents, so everybody will be under cover. The church also will be open that day because we're going to have a blood drive and some health screenings available. So we'll have some inside seating as well.
Great, Diane. Thank you so much for all that you do and all that Brewster's does for the community. I know that there's so much goodwill that you all do as far as donating many of your services and products out to the community. So folks out there, you heard it. If you're not part of the Chamber, please come and join the Chamber, and you get more information on the Chamber and also the upcoming Chamber Day at www.naaccc.com or call 410-766-8282. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, this week, Mary Felter continues her series, The Future is Now, Are You Ready?, to talk about the need to have a will prepared. She promises the discussion is lively, so let's see. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today I'm welcoming Lauren Parker, who is the 28th Register of Wills in Anne Arundel County. We're delighted to have you on the program.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
I want to tell our viewers a little bit about you. You're a graduate of the former Andover High School, and you got your law degree from the University of Baltimore, and you live in Pasadena with your husband and your son. So you're part of the general population of Anne Arundel County.
Yes.
You've also had a law practice and been a manager at a law practice, and then you ran for Register of Wills.
Yes, my second time around now. And I'm glad I had the first career because it gave me the time to acquire the skills to do the job of Register of Wills and fulfill the responsibilities of the position.
Yeah, I know it's very challenging. We've been through some deaths in our family. We know what you have to do to get material to you after a death of a loved one. And I understand you're going to be our speaker at one of our workshops the Department of Aging is doing. It's called The Future is Now, Are You Ready? And you're doing the part on after the death of a loved one.
Yes, we see lots of people coming in and they're absolutely shocked at the death of their loved one. And of course, they're really not equipped because they just never put any thought into gathering the necessary documents or even looking at anything before the death. So we're trying to get everybody to prepare and to have a little bit of knowledge before they ever have to face this situation.
One of the first things they have to do is bring you a will.
Yes, we would love to have the will. In fact, we'd like to have the will before you ever even get anywhere near needing it. Now, this is a great service that we offer. One-time fee, $5. We lock it up in a vault just like a bank vault. Your bank is going to charge you $35 a year for the smallest safe deposit box they have. We are a one-time fee during your lifetime. You can come and get it if you're moving. You can change it out if you need to. It's private. No one gets into that will except for you. We have you put it in an envelope, mark it with your name, give us your address, give us some other additional information so that we can retrieve it and make sure that it is you. And we lock it down and lock it away. And we keep it for approximately 90 years. If no one comes to claim it, we're going to have it approximately 90 years from the time that you bring it in. So there's consistency. And we would prefer to have them rather than you leave it at your attorney's.
And the will really helps you because it tells how you want your property to be dispersed when you have passed.
Yes, because we are looking for everybody to have a will, even if it's just something very simple. But the reason for this is to save your family from having arguments. Everybody has an opinion about what mom or dad wanted. We want you to have it your way, not the way the legislature says you're supposed to have it. See, the legislature's rules are only there in case you forgot to write one. Well, they're not always equipped to know what's right for your family. They just did a broad overview thinking, well, this will do in a jam. Anne Arundel County, it doesn't just have Ozzie and Harriet. We have people that have had 2 and 3 marriages, 2 and 3 sets of children. They have a second or third spouse at the moment, and they have children by other marriages. If you don't have a will and a set of rules for everybody to abide by, that is an argument waiting to happen.
Absolutely. I understand one time you told me there are cat fights.
Oh, yes. We have had cat fights in the office with people standing and, you know, nose to nose, yelling at each other. And that's just not the way to have your family have to end your life. Okay.
I think it must be not very funny to have to realize that the state will write you a will, essentially, is what you're saying.
Right. I mean, you have people down in the legislature that came up with this plan years and years ago, and all kinds of things can happen.
And I think people don't realize what sort of documents they have to have afterwards. I mean, mortgage statements and bank statements, and what are some of those things?
We are looking for things. You have something that's called an inventory that you're going to have to do for us. And this is so that we see everything that's out there and we make sure it gets distributed to the appropriate person or it gets managed in the right way. Because obviously there's usually more than one person involved in inheritances. So you're going to need everything from the first thing being a death certificate, because I don't accept your word. I can't. I've had too many people come in and say, oh, well, so-and-so's not here, and we find out later, yes, they are. So, no, we want the death certificate. I want to see the funeral bill so I can give somebody credit for that or get them reimbursed. We want to see a list of assets and proof of those assets, titles to cars, titles to property, titles to boats, CDs, bank accounts, stocks, bonds, portfolios from whatever brokerage you had, insurance policies in case they were not left to a beneficiary. We're trying to gather all of this up and get it on an inventory somewhere so we can help keep track of it.
How about marriage certificates or divorce?
Yes, because we have that issue come up a lot of times. We have had situations where someone's ex-spouse walks in and says, well, you know, I think I'm entitled. And of course, while they may not have had a full divorce, so they're not really quite an ex-spouse yet, there is a separation agreement somewhere that says, no, we already signed this and everybody has signed off their rights to be doing anything with the estate. Because a lot of people don't realize they've signed that right away under a separation agreement, or that they don't have the right, when they're divorced, to walk up and act. Just because you have minor children left between the two of you doesn't mean you're going to be on your ex-spouse's estate.
Lauren, about how long does it take before an estate is closed usually? What's the average?
Well, it depends. I mean, we have some estates that walk in and it's something like a small $50 refund check from a tax return. I call those my $2 estates. We open it and close it in the same day. Those are so small. But the average estate, a regular estate, is going to average out 6 months to 9 months. One of my jokes is it took you 9 months to get here, it's going to take you 9 months to leave with a regular estate. 6 months just because you have to give notice to the creditors. And that's why we have ads in the Gazette and the Capitol. That's, you know, we advertise at least between 1 and 3 times depending on the size of the estate. And to give notice to creditors to come forward if there are any. And we give them 6 months. But normally, with all the paperwork that has to be done and sales of property, 9 months is generally what I consider to be a minimum on an estate, at least $30,000 or above.
I can see that people have a lot to be concerned about, so I know they're emotionally involved at this time. So having this workshop that we're scheduling up here soon on May 18th is probably a very good idea, and we want people to come to that. When again is the workshop and where?
It's May 18th. It's at the Arnold Senior Center. It's at 6:30 to 8:30, and it's free. I'm bringing paperwork and record organizers for people to follow along and give their family information, or at least hints as to where and what they have. You know, it has all kinds of things in it as to what you need to think about, particularly the unusual things, such as when people are dealing with the internet banking system, they're forgetting to leave us passwords. So all kinds of hints that we have discovered over the years working with people and trying to help them find the assets and actually recover them.
Well, what people will need to do now will be to register for this, and you can register for the workshop, which is free, as Lauren said, and you can do that by going onto the Department of Aging website, which is www.aacounty.org/aging, and scroll down to the workshop section, or you can give the department a call, and that number is 410-222-4464, and you ask for extension 3094. I want to make sure I gave you the right one. It's presented by the Department of Aging and Disabilities in conjunction with Home Helpers of the Greater Chesapeake and Maxim Healthcare Services. We're also grateful to Sandy Spring Bank for participating. They're going to provide the vital documents folder so that when you come to the workshop, you can pick up the folder, which is expandable, and you can start putting in some of the documents that are very, very important for this particular situation. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on the program today and letting people know that you're going to be presenting this, what happens after a loved one dies. And we thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities for Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. We joke that it's a morbid subject, but these are important tips to know.
In this week's Recreation and Parks Spotlight, Michael Murdoch joins us from the Earth Day celebration at beautiful Quiet Waters Park. Michael.
Thanks, Erik. We're at beautiful Quiet Waters Park for the 20th anniversary of our Earth Day celebration, and it's going to be a great event despite the cool, clammy weather here, but we've got a nice venue here, and we have Ranger Steve Strife with us here today, and he's going to, I wanted to ask Steve, what does Earth Day mean to you, and why are we doing this?
We're doing this to promote green living, educate people that don't think about Earth Day on a day-to-day basis. It is an event that everybody should think about every day of their life and really try to be greener. We get different vendors and stuff here, and we let people know some of the greener ways they can live easily. It doesn't take much work to be green.
Good. This is Earth Day. It's been a 20-year project here at Quiet Waters Park, and a lot of people know about our art, but we also are environmentally conscious, and we really want to make sure that people see what we're doing here. How many vendors do we have, and can you tell us a little bit about some of the vendors we have here at Quiet Waters today?
Sure, Michael. We have a little over 50 vendors. Due to the weather today, we've had a couple of cancel, but overall we have just about 50 vendors, ranging from planting groups that come in to sell native plants, to energy solutions with BG&E. We have solar energy, alternative power energy like Viridian. We have Garrett's Light here that's sponsoring their monarch and butterfly garden that's going to be coming here. The Anne Arundel County Recycling, they're going to be giving away free recycling bins to the people that come. They have a limited number, but you can always go down to the county recycling and get some more. We also have the composting, the Maryland Composting, University of Maryland. They're going to be doing some composting demonstrations. We also have Pit Boys here doing our food. They're doing a great job. They have the smoker behind us here, and we also have Paddle and Pedal. They're located down on the South River and down the Harness Creek, where they're going to be doing some paddling donations, where you can actually get some paddling time in on the scenic area and get to see Mother Nature. We have some kids activities, face painting. We have a magic show. We have scales and tails. Just a little bit of everything, so that we have something for the kids to come and enjoy, because they're going to be the stewards here in the future. We'll be long gone, and the kids need to be educated now so that they have an understanding of what it is to be green and how important it is to the future.
Good, and we had the Earth Day Sierra Club 5K race this morning, which had about 120 people. How did that go?
It went flawless. There was several runners, and they did great.
Good. And we also have a number of exhibitors here that you mentioned solar. Are there any other types of things that I know we have the Chesapeake Children's Museum here and the Garrett's Light, and what other group?
We have Viridian, which is an alternative power. They're primarily wind power. We also have BG&E Home Solutions, where they talk about compact fluorescence, things that you can do in your house to really save a significant amount of energy quite easily.
Good. Of course, Earth Day is every day at Quiet Waters Park, so we really want everybody to come out and enjoy the park at any time. But we hope that people enjoyed the Earth Day this year, the 2011 version. And now, back to you in the studio.
What a great event and what a great park. Thanks to Michael and everyone at Recreation and Parks for putting on such a fantastic weekend for our citizens. It seems like everyone has fun every year, and this year included. Well, speaking of Earth Day, have you noticed a glare coming from our warehouse building in Millersville? Probably not, but the roof is now harnessing the power of the sun to cut our reliance on fossil fuels. Officials from Constellation Energy are celebrating the completion of the largest array of solar panels on a government building in Maryland, right here in Anne Arundel County. The more than 3,000 panels will provide 90% of the power needed to run that building.
Wow.
Pretty interesting.
That is very interesting.
I mean, that's a lot of solar power panels. You see sometimes out in the desert, big solar farms and solar arrays, but to see them on top of that building, it's pretty amazing.
Yes, definitely good for the county.
Absolutely it is. Speaking of good for the county, I don't know if you've noticed it, but a lot of papers, a lot of news outlets recently are doing these best of things. You know, what's the best car wash in your town? What's the best gas station?
Yeah, I've seen the best of Annapolis. You know, they always ask you to vote for different things.
So what do you think? Best pizza in Anne Arundel County. Where would you go?
I like Lido Pizza in general.
Lido's good.
For this area in Maryland.
Yeah, Lido's good. I like Pizza Hut too.
Pizza Hut, okay.
But there's also some good local chains.
Yes.
You know, some local, one person chains.
Not franchises.
Not franchises around here. So a lot of good things. Best gas station. So what would you choose? Best gas station?
Anywhere where I can get cheap gas right now.
There you go. There you go.
Or the cheapest gas
That's
right
now.
That's right.
Gas around $4 a gallon. That's a good thing.
What else? Best ice cream?
Best ice cream. I'm partial to Friendly's. I like Friendly's a lot. But Brewster's is good too.
That's true. That's a
Brewster's
good one.
Is good.
I was going to say Rita's, but Brewster's.
That's not ice cream.
Well, it's kind of close. Okay.
Judges, Rita's, no ice cream. But yeah, it's just interesting to see a lot of best of this, best of that. It's good. It's good to build the community spirit.
Right.
People voting for their favorite restaurant, their favorite gas station.
And that way you can find out about new places too,
exactly.
if you might not have known about something.
Exactly right. So it's always good. People sharing information. That's what we're all about here at Week in Review.
That's right.
Sharing information. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you